Carp Gurus, Devine Fisheries, the Specimen Lake, let's do it. Here we go then guys, I'm now set up at Devine Fisheries on the Specimen Lake. So I'm here for a 48-hour session, and on this occasion I'm going to be targeting catfish and sturgeon. So yeah, I'm having a change, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I've not caught anything yet, but I've only been fishing for around 2 hours, so there's still plenty of time to hopefully catch a fish or two. It's now around 7 p.m. Everything's in position. There's been fish moving around in the area, so these rods are definitely going to stay in now until the morning, obviously, unless something happens during the night. If anything does happen during the night, obviously I'll be right back at you. If not, my next update will be in the morning, and that will be my first proper update of this session. So I'll show you more of what I'm doing, I'll show you more of the peg, and just generally give you more of an insight into what I'm doing on this session. Good morning everyone. I'm sure you know what time it is. It's update time. So it's now around 10 a.m. and last night nothing happened. I did hear a few fish crashing in the area, but yeah, nothing came of it, so I'm still on 0 fish caught so far on this session. However, I'm still feeling confident, and there's still plenty of time left. The rods have now been redone, so both rods are now going to stay in until the evening, obviously unless something happens during the day. Tactics wise, I did say yesterday, didn't I, that I would go into more detail on my next update, so that is what I'm going to do now. So tactics wise, I'm basically fishing the same way I would fish if I was boilie fishing for carp, but everything is just stronger. So 20-pound mainline, I'm using catfish rods rather than standard carp rods. I'm still using the basic lead clip setup made out of the lead-free leader, and then I'm still using the basic hair rig that I love to use when I'm boilie fishing for carp, but I've just stepped up the components so that rig can deal with a big catfish or a big sturgeon, and yeah, that way I can still fish how I'm confident, because I'm not completely changing everything. I'm just using stronger components to make sure I can deal, or make sure the tackle can deal with a big catfish or a big sturgeon. Hook bait wise, I have gone for meat hook baits, and I'm topping off the meat with a load of worms. So yeah, meat hook baits topped off with a big bunch of worms, and yeah, they're the hook baits I'm using on both rods. I can't see many catfish or sturgeon ignoring meat topped off with worms, but at the end of the day it's fishing, and all you can do is try your best to make it happen. I'm fishing on peg 2, that's the peg that I booked, and when you book peg 2 at Devine Fisheries on the Specimen Lake, they give you peg 1 as well. So what I've done, I've set up my pod in between peg 2 and 1, and then that way I've got loads of space to land a big fish, and do everything as efficiently and safely as possible. My dad has fished this peg a lot previously. He's done well in the margins, so I've took his advice and I'm fishing both rods in the margins. So yeah, I'll show you the spots next so you can see exactly where I'm fishing, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now, going for catfish and sturgeon, using what I'm confident in, but using stronger components to cope with the catfish and sturgeon. And yeah, as I've said, the rods are in position now, and they're going to stay in for the rest of the day until the evening, obviously unless something happens during the daytime. Okay then guys, I'm now going to show you exactly where I'm fishing on this session. So the right hand rod is basically, just bear with me, the right hand rod is there in the margin, tight to the bank, under the tree, and that's where the right hand rod is. My dad's caught a fair few fish from that spot when he's been fishing this peg, so I've took his advice, and that's where the right hand rod is. Moving on to the left hand rod, just bear with me. So the left hand rod is basically just there, around a rod length away from the bank, and yeah, that's where the left hand rod is. So both rods are in the margins, and yeah, that seems to be the way a lot of fish get caught on this venue, either tight to the margins or around a rod length from the bank. So yeah, I've got one, as you've already seen, around a rod length from the bank, and then the other one is tight in under the tree, as you've already seen. So yeah, that's how most people fish this venue. I've took advice off a few people, I've looked online, I've spoke to my dad, and yeah, in this peg, that seems to be the way they do it. As I said earlier, when you book peg 2, you get peg 1 as well, which I think is really good and also really sensible. So yeah, there's the rods again, cat rods, first time using them, strong as hell. I'm sure they'll deal with some big fish. And yeah, just for clarity, what I was saying earlier, so you get the idea, that's peg 1. I put my cradle there and stuff just so it's out of the way. So that's peg 1. I've got that peg by default because I've booked peg 2. And then if I pivot round, obviously there's the rods again. There's me peg 2. Ignore all the bags. I'm still settling in. But yeah, you get the idea. Well guys, it's happened. One of the known fish, a fish called What's It, weighing in at 32.3 £. Look at this, absolutely stunning. Taking on the meat hook baits, tipped off with worms, and yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing with this one. What a great start to the session. See you later. It's that time again guys, it's update time. So, it's now around 6 PM, and to be honest, unless we recap on what an amazing fish that was that I caught earlier on today, I haven't really got a lot to tell you. So, let's have a recap. Today, as you will have already seen by now, I caught an amazing Mandarin catfish that is known as What's It for obvious reasons, and that fish weighed in at 32 pounds and 3 ounces. It's a target fish for a lot of people, so yeah, I'm made up to have caught it. Also, I don't even know of any other waters locally or further afield that hold Mandarin catfish, so again, it's just made the capture even more special for me. Anyway, moving on. Today, since I returned the fish, nothing else has happened. I got the rod that produced the fish straight back out there. The other rod was still in. I didn't catch the line or anything while I was playing that fish, and I sat it out all day after catching that fish, and nothing else has happened. So I have now, just before this update, I've reeled in the rods, I've put fresh hook baits on, I've stuck with the same hook baits, meat hook baits, topped off with a bunch of worms, and yeah, I've got the rods back in on the same spots in the margins that I showed you earlier on, and I'm feeling confident. You've seen the spots, as I've said, I've shown you them earlier on. There's one tight under the tree, and there's one around probably just under a rod length off the bank, which is a left-hand rod. So yeah, that's where the rods are, and to be honest, the left-hand rod is the one that produced the catfish. So yeah, definitely confident in that spot, and I'm confident in the other spot really. I think it's going to happen. So yeah, around each rod as well, I've baited up with a couple of handfuls of halibut pellets and some meat. And yeah, with it being margin work, I can bait up by hand. It's very easy, it's very effortless, and it's also very accurate. So yeah, the presentation is spot on, I'm sure of that. And yeah, unless something happens during the evening or during the night, these rods are now going to stay in until the morning. So this is going to be me checking out. As I've said, if it happens during the evening or during the night, obviously I'll be right back at you. If not, my next update will be in the morning. Fish number 2 is this sturgeon, weighing in at 30 pounds and 15 ounces. So yeah, just under 31 pound, absolute lump. There's the other side, guys, just under 31 pounds of absolute fighting machine. Okay then guys, as you can see, I'm no longer on the bank and I'm now back in the car, all packed up and ready to set off home. So yeah, it's now officially the end of the session, and to be honest, I've really enjoyed my time at Devine Fisheries. I decided to target catfish and sturgeon on this session, as I've already mentioned, and I managed to catch 1 catfish and I managed to catch 1 sturgeon. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the mission accomplished on this session. After returning the sturgeon back to the water early this morning, I did get another bite from the same spot after getting the rod straight back out there, but unfortunately I lost that fish due to a hook pull. So yeah, it is disappointing, but at the end of the day, it's fishing, and I think every fisherman loses a fish due to a hook pull every now and again. Anyway, this is me checking out, so enough of me going on. Thank you for watching Carp Gurus, and remember, like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on all that carpy action.
Carp Gurus.